Mama Peace, it is such a pleasure. I would love to start if you could tell us about you and your family and why have you become such an inspiration to so many in relation to building a more peaceful and sustainable world.
Um, well, my family, I can tell you two things. One is between 1985 and 1990, it's about 4.5 years, I gave birth to four children. At the time that I was giving birth to my four children, one, I honestly did not know that I was carrying an adult onset genetic disability that has left me in a wheelchair, using a ventilator, and all kinds of medical problems. I also did not know I was passing on a mutation of this to my four children, and that the mutation was incompatible with survival. My first three children died before the age of 4. My youngest, Maddie, lived to be almost 14 years of age. And this young man did not spend his almost 14 years dying or living with a disability. Maddie spent his entire life celebrating life and living with purpose and passion and what he called his heart songs, a message placed in his heart by God, and that message is hope and peace. The second thing I can tell you is that during that 4.5 years when I was giving birth to my children, before I was disabled, before I lost all my children, I knew I was excited about that I was going to be called Mommy, that was going to be my new title. I did not know that one day I would be known as Mama Peace. Peace was always on my to-do list, but at that time, peace was not on my to-be list. I did not realize how much peace matters in our world. I knew it was a good thing, but that purpose and that passion, I learned that from my son.
That is so beautiful. And I would love if you could share, why did you want to support this International Day of Peace and why should everyone be celebrating Peace Day?
Well, quite simply, peace matters. We need peace in our world, and peace begins with choices. Peace is not something difficult. Ending war is difficult, but beginning peace is quite simple. For many, many years, more than a decade, my work with the Maddie Stepanek Peace Foundation, an international nonprofit, we've been campaigning for a peace day here in the United States. We wanted that day to be on July 17th, Maddie's birthday, so that it was tied to a role model for how to choose peace. And I've always been intrigued by the International Day of Peace. First of all, it falls on the Feast of St. Matthew, which is Maddie's name, Matthew. So I thought, wow, that's beautiful. And I love the idea that this day is about pausing violence, choosing to be kind, to not bully, to not just pause violence, but then to do something during that time rather than just not be violent or not be bullied. And what we've been campaigning for is the flip side of that, which is how do you teach children about peace, how to bring people together for conversations and celebrations, recreation, education about that simple step of choosing peace rather than just pausing violence. So I thought, well, we'll meet in the middle. So it was very exciting when I had the invitation to actually speak at this international venue.
That is so exciting, and it's just so inspiring to hear how excited you are about all of this, considering that you have faced so much adversity and risen above so much adversity in your life. And I'd love to know what gives you this strength to carry on with your mission of peace.
I draw strength from within. I draw strength from with others, and I draw strength with connecting to something beyond. The within, I would say, if there's one word that defines me, it's resilience. Not that I don't feel pain. I miss my children every day. I grew up and married into family situations abundant with dysfunction. I live in a world where peace is possible, and yet we choose to hurt each other with a word or with a weapon. And yet I can see beyond that. I'm hurt by that. I'm saddened by that. I'm frustrated by that. I have all those feelings, but my attitude, my hope, my moving forthward is with resilience, with optimism, with positivity, and with achievable steps to bring us closer and closer to the possibility of changing peace to a reality. And with others, all the work I do through Maddie's Foundation, through other organizations like the We Are Family Foundation and the Muscular Dystrophy Association, when I am able to share a message and see the change, that brings me more resilience. And then clearly, I am deeply spiritual. I'm also religious, but I think they're two separate things. But I'm deeply spiritual. And like Maddie said, I believe we're a mosaic of gifts and a mosaic of faiths. And we need to stop fighting over how we pray and simply pray differently, yet together.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And you also touched on your work. So you work a lot with young people like me. And I'd love to know, how do you motivate them to manifest a peaceful and sustainable future, to grow, as you have put it, forthward?
Well, basically, I share what's my heart song. Maddie said our heart song is something within us that matters to us and that we're meant to share that with others. My heart song is about mattering. I want to matter not for what I do, but simply because I am a part of the mosaic of humanity. So when I work with young people, ages 5 to 105, okay, they're still young at heart. I simply remind them that they matter. I remind them that they are part of this mosaic and that our similarities bring us together, but our differences, they're opportunities to learn more about each other and to connect with intrigue and uniqueness. I remind young people and people of all ages that peace begins with just being okay with who and how we are as a person, which comes from having our basic needs tended to, that we're not hungry for food or for security or for purpose, that we're not thirsty for community or water. I remind young people that peace is more than what we do. It's who we are. And I just love working with the We Are Family Foundation, which every year I have a whole new cohort of young people that I get to interact with. And once they're my children, does not matter what their age is, they're always my children. They're always there. So I'm up to close to 500 global teens, some of them now in their 30s, through that organization.
That's so beautiful. As a young person, that really touches my heart to see how much you have been able to support us. And I'd love to know also, how can we support you? How can everyone watching get involved with your remarkable work?
Oh, thank you. I really would love for people to visit mattieonline.com, MATTIE online.com. That's our website. And reach out to me. You can reach out to info@mattieonline.com or mamapeace@mattieonline.com. But reach out so that I can tell you how you matter, so that you can find yourself involved with Maddie's Foundation or with We Are Family Foundation or with any other organization like Peace One Day, because we're many wheels that are all moving forward, doing something good. Imagine if we bring all of these wheels of progress together, and instead of little unicycles of peace, we become, as Cat Stevens said, the peace train, and we move forward. So reach out to me. I'll remind you why you matter and how we together can rebuild the mosaic of humanity.
I love that. Mama Peace, everyone. Thank you so much for your incredible work.
Thank you for everything that you're doing. And may I close by telling you, you matter. Believe that.
Thank you.
Mama Peace.